today, let's take a look at Lord vs Maelstrom. The new set has provided some new support for Maelstrom, and I must say those support are excellent. In this game, you'll be demonstrating how Maelstrom become a mad standard deck that can hit 6 drive checks in a turn. The Maelstrom does go first in this game, and is the most optimal for the deck given Maelstrom effect, that plus 3k power to the front row, hitting magic number right off the bat. Try checking to a matcha here, and most likely preparing for aggressive turn 2. And we do see him actually riding to the new grade 2 introduced for Maelstrom, which is a drifting flow fencer. It is a Coral Assault clone, and it is a searcher as well. And he does search the OG Maelstrom there, very consistent I would say. Try check into a Coral Assault. So the Lord does go for the Layer 4 here, Superior calling the Charon to counter charge. And we'll be calling the second Layer 4, Superior calling yet another Charon to counter charge. And he will be calling the Matcha, which he project checked in the previous turn. So this will be a very aggressive turn 2. This field does plus very hard, as well as creating a very aggressive field. Everything is hitting above 15k shield required, 15k shield guard, sorry, and this will push the Maelstrom very hard. Unfortunately, there's no critical trigger here to push him to a potential 4 damage, and we do see the Maelstrom turn come into action. So he'll be able to fight back here with the OG Maelstrom's riding here, gaining the Excel marker 2, drawing 1. And he does call this grade 2. So basically this grade 2 actually gives Maelstrom an additional 10k power as well as an additional drive check. And he does call the new support, which is the Radial Assault. And he allows him to actually Soul Blast 1 to guarantee the hit for that turn for the attack, as well as if he can pull a Maelstrom back from the bottom of the back from the drop zone to the bottom of the deck, he can draw 1. And we do see him actually calling the Analyze Shooter there, which is actually on hit. For Vanguard, you can actually search your deck for 2 more Maelstroms. So as you can see, the setup is pretty simple from the Maelstrom player, but this allows him for a very strong 6 drive check turn. So he does swing with the grade 2 first, which is a 10k guard because of the 3k power which I mentioned earlier in the game. And he does swing with the Maelstrom, opening a draw trigger here. Actually opening a crit as well, giving to the Vanguard, and this remind me of the cross. And he does actually a Glory Maelstrom there, pushing me to 3 damage effectively, but the Lord player does eat 2 damage trigger to lighten the load of the turn. And because of the Analyze Shooter there, he's able to filter the deck for 2 more Maelstroms, allowing him to actually search for the Glory Maelstrom to ensure the next strike kill, if he does so. Or he can just farm further with the OG Maelstrom right again, gaining yet another Excel marker. So he does swing the Radial Assault here, which automatically procs the on hit for the Maelstrom effect to trigger, discarding 2 and triple driving once again. So in my opinion, Maelstrom does get the better edge of the support in this set compared to Sama's, and from this game alone, I assure you, Maelstrom is very scary. So he does swing triple drive once again, but unfortunate there's no triggers here. Could you imagine if he does open another heal here, this will push the game so hard for the Lord. And we go for the Lord right here, gaining a force marker. So I'd like to point out an upcoming misplay here. I do use a Layer 4 here to actually Superior call the Abyssal Hour to draw an additional 1 card. To be honest, this additional 1 card doesn't really did much, and because that I Soul Blasted the only soul left for me, I'm not able to actually use a Charon on my Superior. Right, sorry. So this allows me to be actually starving myself of Counter Blast. I only actually realize it after I do draw with the Abyssal Hour, and it's very awkward. So I do see a Nightmare Painter in my hand, and I do hand shuffle, so I don't exactly see the Nine Panther in my hand. I'm quite lost of how I should play out this turn. So very unfortunate, but it didn't really cost much of the game aside from the fact that I could have potentially do a Morfessa push. So I do Superior right into the Drag Driver here, Superior calling the Seals, which is actually 20k beaters. So this allow me to still push for damage, but missing out on the Morfessa additional attack, which would have been important to clutch the game. So very big misplay by me, but this game is to showcase how Maelstrom is so strong in this set. So I do swing the Lord here, which is a very high power, and I do open a critical trigger, and he does open a heal damage here. So pushing into 4 damage, allowing him to have the luxury to eat 1 more damage for free. And I do miss the Morfessa here. And it's a Maelstrom turn here once again. He does go for the OG Maelstrom right instead of the Glory Maelstrom because I'm at 3 damage and still I'm able to eat some damage instead of guarding. And because he does have additional grade 2 as well as the other Radiant Assault in hand, it allows him to actually go for the restand turn once again. So can you imagine if he does have multiple copies of the grade 2, he can actually go for a potential 8 drive in the single turn, and I would say that's pretty broken in my opinion. So he does Soul Blast, putting back a Maelstrom back to the bottom of the deck to draw additional 1 card. He does Counter Blast 1 to drop the Maelstrom and call in the Coral Assault there, so we do see a double Coral Assault there, preparing to soul in to draw additional cards at the end of the turn. So he does swing here with a 5k guard. Quick Shoe is used here. He does swing with the Maelstrom. No guarding confidently. He does open a triple blank here, very unfortunate, but because of the confirmed restand, he's able to get another opportunity to actually triple drive once again, fishing for those triggers. So I do point out to him that he does have the Analyze Shooter to online basically, so he does Soul Blast 1 and drop 1 card from his hand to search for 2 more Maelstroms. This allows him to filter the deck nicely and able to hit a higher chance of trigger. And because of the on-hit effect of the Radiant Assault, he's able to drop the 2 Maelstrom he did search just now to restand the Vanguard and triple driving again. And he does force a PGL from me, and we do see him getting a draw trigger Kanzen here, which is very important against Slot because Slot does push very high raw power, and every negate you do get is always welcome. And because the Lord does eat a damage trigger there, everything he's attacking for here, it will just be a simple 10k guard. And I do eat to the 5th damage here, which is a mistake in my opinion because I do forget about the Glory Maelstrom. And Glory Maelstrom does punish players for eating to 5 damage because of how much power they can do, and you do need PGs to stop most of their attacks. So I do go for the fortunate second Lord right here, hopefully to end the game here before I do pass back the turn to the Maelstrom player. I do sacrifice so much Charons to actually sack one of his Reguard, preparing to return them back to the deck to Superior Core to counter charge for myself. And I do call the Nine Painter here, so charging the David into the Soul. And I do return the Drag Driver Lord here because I'm out of Drag Drivers. superior riding, straight to the drag driver, and I'll be putting the fifth marker to the left side, allowing my Mofessa to be hitting for 40k requirement, 40k shield requirement, which is at least 2 heal triggers or at least 3 cards in total. And here I'm considering to filter out more great ones from my deck, so I do have a better chance of drive checking triggers. So in the end, I do only Superior Core Charon here, because I do value the Suus a lot. So do take note, for all lot players, it's always advisable to Soul Blast the Drag Driver in your Soul, because you do want to have them in your drop zone to return for the next turn. So I do see the Mofessa here, which is 40k guard as mentioned just now, and we do see a triple hand size guard here. So this is what I have achieved. And Mofessa does use his effect, Superior Calling to 1 grade 1 in the drop zone, given that I have a full field of grade 1s. And I do go for the Charon here because it is the best target available in my drop zone and I'm able to counter charge run. And I do swing with the Drag Driver here, which is hitting for 49k power, and we do see a PG being dropped here. Drive checking to 1 critical trigger to the side and 1 more critical trigger, so there's a double critical trigger turn, and this should be it. And we do see a second PG drop, as well as a third final PG. So what I'm trying to say here is that Maelstrom, because of how hard they drive check and how hard they actually draw power, basically their draw power is so strong now, we do see him actually getting 3 PG into his hands so easily. And he does ride into the Glory Maelstrom here, calling the Drifting Flow Fencer, which is a mandatory top 7, and we do see him actually only have 7 cards left in his deck. So the deck actually already gone through so much, and because of the Glory Maelstrom skill, which plus additional 10k power to the front row, those Drifting Flow Fencer actually does require a PG to guard, and it does have the grade 2 rare once again, and giving additional 10k power to the Glory Maelstrom, and the Glory Maelstrom will do require another PG to actually guard. And because I'm at 5 damage and I do not have any way of return, I do a no guard here, you just check a crit here, and this is game. Thank you for watching till the end, and do consider subscribing and dropping a like and a comment if you have enjoyed the content.